So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to the May edition of Sunset Trails Cub Scout Roundtable Breakout. It's great to have you guys here. As per usual, we're going to start with sign-ins, attendance. I think everybody here has been here before. Y'all know me, right? Right? You got my emails. So name, rank, serial number. If your email and your phone has not changed, go ahead and write same. It's all good. And Phil, if you could plop it on the back table when it gets back to you, that'd be awesome. So you guys all know probably the reasons why we do sign in, so I won't go through that. I will skip it. For those of you who forgot who I am, my name is Mike Voltz. I am your Cub Scout Roundtable Commissioner. I am typically joined by my trusty partner in crime, Daryl. He cannot be here tonight. He has a crazy work schedule. I'm usually also joined by Chris May, but he is recovering from a soccer injury this evening. I just got an email from him. So healing vibes to Chris. Chris, come back. We need you. Please see us as resources if you have questions, concerns, things that aren't working right in your pack, something that just is weird. Feel free to shoot us an email. I put my phone number out there. I take phone calls. It's fine. We like to help solve problems, and we can be resources for you. We're a very diverse group. I'm a committee chair with my pack, so I do stuff like recruitment and building use applications and adult applications and all that kind of stuff. Daryl is my advancement coordinator. He's really good at adventures and awards, and he also does summer camp stuff for us and camping. So if you have questions about how Tentaroo works and you want somebody, shoot Daryl an email. He can answer your question. Tentaroo is crazy. Chris comes from the Cub Master perspective, and if you've got ideas, need some thoughts about a joining activity or things like that, he's also from the LDS side of things. If you're an LDS scouter and you need some thoughts, comments, Chris is a great resource. So please see us as something that you can throw ideas around with. I'll do a quick, that's who I am and who we are. I'll do a quick show of hands so I know who we've got here. How many Cub Masters or assistants do we have here? That's your main thing. 4. Excellent. Den leaders and assistant den leaders. Your other hand, I say, okay, about equal then. Committee chairs, trainers, pack trainers. We even have a pack trainer in the house. I've never met one in the wild. Charter org reps, a couple committee members. So a good mix. Okay, how about LDS? Okay, a couple LDS, and the rest of us are traditional community. Excellent. These topics do relate to everybody, but they relate to everybody sort of in different ways based on who you are and where you come from. So I'll try to cover the topic in such a way that it is meaningful to everyone. I wish Chris were here today because he could chime in on some good stuff, but I will try to talk for him. Sorry, Chris. So we just did welcome introductions. We're going to get into a couple of awards. We're going into summer here real quick, and it's great to think about one of the awards we can do in summer to get our scouts to earn is the Outdoor Activity Award. It's a great award. We'd love to have our scouts earn it, and it's really straightforward. It's not difficult to do. We as adult leaders cannot earn the Outdoor Activity Award, so we're going to cover one that we can earn today. So that's going to be the George Meany Award, which I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that one. Anybody know who George Meany is? Ooh, I'm going to teach you something today. It's May, so we're looking forward to June. Some of us probably don't have June pack or den meetings. Some of us probably do, but we will cover the June point of the Scout Law and the theme. And I'll do that a little bit more truncated than usual because we're kind of wrapping up the year usually, except for the LDS folks. They're just churning on. But we do have a theme and a Scout Law point. We'll do a cheer, we'll do a game, we'll do a gathering activity, and those will, I promise, take like 12 minutes, maybe 10. And we'll get into our interest topic, adult leadership, recruitment, training. I can do it without looking at it. Recognition and succession. I've got some good stuff. And this is really important, so I'm glad you guys are here to listen. It's awesome. And then we'll wrap it up with final thoughts and resources. Questions before we get started? All ready? It's going to be great. Okay. Come in, sit down.
Cub Scout.
Cub Scout Breakout? Yeah. All right. So one of the things that you'll see often running around is the Cub Scout Outdoor Activity Award. If you go to camp, if you go to Weebelow's Woods, something like that, this award can be earned by every single registered Cub Scout from a brand new Tiger all the way up to somebody just about to earn Arrow of Light and join the Boy Scout troop. The patch is a nice big one. It's worn on the right pocket flap of the Cub Scout uniform, and it can be earned each and every year. The first time a Cub Scout earns this, they earn the big patch, which is one of the more expensive patches, by the way. but they only get that once the first time. Every successive year that a Cub Scout earns this, they get a cute little wolf track pin. My oldest son just earned his first one. This is way out of scale, it's tiny, but it's cute. And if these scouts earn it year over year, they get all these pins. The Summertime Activity Award is pinned through this if they earn that. And by the time they roll over to Boy Scouts, they've got this patch in the uniform with a whole swath of metal pins, and they're really proud about all that. Yeah, go ahead.
So one of the questions that came up was, we have tigers who started in September.
Okay.
But they become wolves in June 1st.
Yep.
So they can't actually earn that.
Until
right?
they're a wolf. We'll cover that in just a second. First and foremost, the most important thing here is get your Cub Scouts to camp. That is the one first thing for all Cub Scouts. Go to summer camp. It could be day camp, resident camp, all-pack camp. As long as it's Cub Scout summer camp, you're good. It doesn't have to be in Oregon. It can be in Wyoming. It doesn't have to be in our council. It can be in Jamaica. As long as it's the Boy Scouts of America, Cub Scout summer camp, and they attended, we're done. We've checked that off. All subsequent requirements are rank specific. You'll notice every single one has one of the required adventures, so they should be earning that anyway. And then beyond that, they have a series of, participate in a certain number of these outdoor things. There's a huge list. I'll show you that in just a second. And to speak to your point, Neil, thank you.
I have heard the mustache.
You know it's the mustache. It's throwing me off. To Neil's point, and I'll give you one example. My youngest son joined Cub Scouts almost exactly a year ago. And he finished kindergarten, was starting first, so he went to summer camp. He earned the Outdoor Activity Award as a tiger. If you have a Cub Scout who joins in September, and they didn't make it to summer camp as a Cub Scout, they can earn it the next year as a wolf. The nuance here, as opposed to the Summertime Activity Award, where they're earning the color that's related to the rank that they just earned, this one, they're going on the requirements for the rank that they are working on.
Oh, so this summer, if you went to your summertime activities,
right,
that's going to earn it for, like tigers right now. They would earn it for
wolf.
They would earn it for the wolf, or they'd earn it for
because
tiger.
your traditional unit, all your scouts get bumped in the national on June 1st.
Right. Okay, that's what I thought.
Exactly. Now LDS is different. It's by birthday, so there's a little bit of squishy. And I think the really weird thing might happen if a scout has his birthday at summer camp and bifurcates summer camp. And I don't know how you exactly, I would say pick one side and go with it. But again, if there's a moment in time where your Cub Scout, no matter where he is, LDS traditional, no matter what age, if he completes and successfully completes all these requirements, done, he earns it. That's it. These are the list of those outdoor activities. If you're a Tiger Cub, you only have to do 4. If you're Weebelow's working on Arrow of Light, it's 7. And in between 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's right, 4, 5, 6. So some really simple ones. Participate in an outdoor activity such as a picnic or a fun day in the park. You could go on a bike ride. You can do, my screen is small, sorry. Complete an outdoor service project, which scouting for food I believe would count. We're outside, we're doing things. Completing a nature conservation project. Participating in your packs, earning the Summertime Pack Award. So again, these two things, it's the Outdoor Activity Award and the Summertime Award, are kind of orthogonal, but they relate. They intersect.
Could it be a scout organized event, or could it be a family event?
It should be a scout event. It could be a den thing. It could be a pack thing. If your family goes to the beach,
Doesn't count.
right. So that's kind of the dividing line. Aquatic activities, an outdoor sporting event, and for me, a lot of times dens like to get together in the summer and have some fun in the park. Den leaders is a great opportunity to just keep that cadence going through the summer, especially for us traditional units. Meet in a park, play a game, talk about camp. You don't have to do a lot of intensive advancement stuff. For LDS folks who tend to go throughout the entire year, especially Weebelows, this is probably an easy one. Easier one to accomplish, I would think. Although you guys are busy doing all kinds of other stuff. Invent an outside game and play it with your friends for half an hour. These things are very attainable. Even get to 7. So some good examples. Go on a hike this summer. It's great weather. There's some great hiking paths all over the place. Disc golf. You could go geocaching. That would count. We do Rocketry Day every summer. Have your boys get together at some parking lot or a park and light off rockets. All kinds of great ideas. So that is the summertime, the outdoor activity award. Does anybody have any questions?
So for the worship service,
Yeah.
is that one that's done on your own, or does it have to be a den pack?
So a scout's own service would be a scout thing. Some packs do that when we go camping. They'll have somebody have a guitar. One of the best ones I went to was just a dad brought a guitar to a troop outing, and we all just gathered and sang a hymn or two, and it was fun. That is one of the things we do at resident camp, right? Chapel.
Correct.
That's a scout's own service.
We went to the Easter service in the Tulip Fields this year as a family.
Okay.
So I didn't know if that counts.
Again, I would think if it's a scout thing, if it was Scout Sunday and you have your pack go to like, if your pack is chartered by, for instance, a Baptist church or something like that, and you attend service on Scout Sunday, I would think that would count if that's outside. Usually those are more inside, on February, right? But that kind of thing would count as long as it's a scout activity. Further questions?
So it has to be a year, like, the day that you start, say summer camps, there's a start date and summer camp, be the end of it.
Not so much a start end as LDS, right?
Yeah.
So if a scout, the weirdest thing I can think of is a scout's birthday happens right before summer camp, right? So hopefully he went to summer camp last year and he's working on, let's say, Wolf, and he earns Paws on the Path, because that's required.
Right.
He does some of those outdoor activities. It could have been last summer. Maybe Paws on the Path is the last thing that he earned, right before he earns his Wolf badge, and then he goes to camp. He successfully completed all those requirements right before he went to camp, before he turned 9. He earns it.
Okay.
It's that snapshot in time that, oh, he's still a wolf, he just earned his wolf badge. Maybe that was the last one he did. He earned it, he's good. And then he goes to camp, and then that counts for next year's.
So
If he didn't go to
he's
camp,
still in the wolf den, he's earned his wolf.
Yep.
But hasn't turned 9 yet, he's
Yeah.
got a month or two before his birthday.
right,
He can still earn it in the wolf.
precisely.
Okay.
He's
So I've
still
got-
a wolf, yeah.
I've got one in that, I think he's done.
Yeah, absolutely. Other questions? It's one of those weird, you gotta kind of get that scenario in your head and
If you're
go,
starting a new year, you think, okay, summer camp maybe is the first start, and then to the next beginning of summer
Yeah.
camp, whatever activities.
but as long as they go to summer camp as a registered Cub Scout, it counts towards whatever rank they're working on.
On that year.
Exactly.
And then is an outdoor flag ceremony part of any of those? Because we do outdoor.
Well, there's some
4th of
really
July.
great ones. Participate in an outdoor activity, such as a picnic or a fun day in the park.
Okay.
I'd say outdoor flag ceremony counts.
The
Sure.
4th of July. outdoor
Yeah.
flag
A parade. We do the Beaverton Parade. I mean, as long as it's a scout thing and it's not under a roof, I say you're golden.
Okay. Well, I just know we do that every summer.
Yeah, that's great. Anybody else? Questions?
What's the point of getting the award?
Bling on your uniform. And Cub Scouts love these things, right? Cub Scouts love to wear patches. They love to wear, the where is it? The metal pins. You go to camp and you've got some cool stuff. And it's also to recognize that they're active and they think doing things outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one?
Yep. Other questions? All right, so we as adult leaders can't earn the Outdoor Activity Award, but we can potentially earn or be awarded the George Meany Award. And I'm guessing people in here don't know who George Meany is or what this is, so I'll let you know. This is all about a recognition from the AFL-CIO, which is a group of unions, which may be presented to any adult union member who has made a significant contribution to the youth in their community through scouting. Each labor council in the state federation has the ability to present one award nationally. One award annually. That would be multiple nationally. The emphasis here is on being selective. They don't have to give this out. They don't have to give out to anybody if they don't think that they meet it. They don't have to meet a quota. And this is also by nomination only. There's a whole list of qualifications. There's a nomination form. Feel free to look at it. My scenario, in terms of somebody that I could see qualifying for this, would be like a teacher. Most teachers are in a union, like in a public school, and if they serve as a den leader, a cub master, assistant scout master, something like that, and have a real impact on the youth in their program, and they maybe the units that they're involved with are chartered by the PTO or something like that, and they're instrumental in bridging that gap. Maybe they serve as a chartered org rep. That, to me, would be something you could put this person in. The list of unions is long, pipe fitters, electrical workers, you name it, there's a huge list. I think I found it on Wikipedia. Just about everybody who's in a union is somehow related to the AFL-CIO. But think about, and again, this is by nomination, so think about those people that are in your units that have been doing this, that you're aware of and scouting for a long time. Oh, they're an electrician, they're probably in a union, and this person has had a lot of impact. Consider filling out a nomination form. It's a prestigious thing, it's important, and it's the kind of thing that we recognize people who bring those two things together. For those of you who, if you're a merit badge counselor, this one is big on promoting the American Labor Merit Badge, which is one of the least earned out of all merit badges. There's a list every year from top to bottom of how many. Bugling is always the last one for some reason. Why not bugle? But American Labor is one of those bottom ones, and they're trying to get people who are involved in both scouting and labor unions to teach that merit badge, to promote it, to let people know that this is something that's important. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff. Essentially just supporting scouting and letting people know that they're part of a union and unions do good things overall, however you feel about unions. So, any question about that? Kind of simple, right? Check out the nomination form if you think you know somebody who qualifies. All right, we are in May. We're looking forward to June. Our June point of the Scout Law is obedience. The first three here are really easy for most of our young scouts to grasp. Following the rules, not breaking the law of our community, of our country. If you're doing a Cub Masters Minute or Den Leader meeting and you're going to try to pull this in, these are easy ones if you have a tiger wolf, that kind of thing. This last one's a little more nuanced, and I was going to give you a little example. My oldest son's a bear. He's finishing up his bear badge, and we went last weekend and we got to finish this duty to God thing. We picked the one to learn about somebody who's done his duty to God, right? Their duty to God. And so I found a couple of people for him to choose from. Mother Teresa, Brigham Young, who do you want to learn about? And, Martin Luther King, I already know Martin Luther King. Okay, how about Mahatma Gandhi? Oh, Mahatma Gandhi. So we found some YouTube videos on Mahatma Gandhi, his bio. And my son, who is 8, totally got it. This whole peaceful resistance thing. I think if you have Webelos, Arrow of Light, even bears, you can start to give them that nuance of not just following the rules, but if you think that there's a rule that's unfair or unjust, there are things that you can do about that above and beyond fighting back, right? And I was really surprised. I mean, my kid's kind of a normal 3rd grader, and he totally gets that.
So he's going to not eat now when he does.
If he doesn't like the rule of the house, he's going to, take a walk to the salt somewhere. I don't know. But it was really fascinating. I think it was kind of a neat thing that I realized, some of these scouts really can grasp these nuanced ideas. So that's the scout point of the Scout Law for June. Our theme, I'm going to be honest with you, I think this is a little bit weak. It's kind of baseball themed. It's a hit. And again, it's all about following the rules when you're with your friends, playing a game, playing ball, you should follow the rules. It's fair for everyone, that kind of thing. You kind of ruin it when you cheat, is what it really comes down to. Again, I kind of think it's a little bit weak, but if you want to pull that into a Cub Masters Minute or something like that, go for it. There are resources on the Google Drive I'm going to point you to tonight. I'll send you all an email with a pointer to a Google Drive. Take a look. There are some resources in there, some planning things, some activities. Take it for what it's worth. I'm kind of lukewarm on it. Questions? Thoughts? Yeah. It is what it is, right? Let's do a cheer. Anybody know the Campbell soup cheer? No? Gosh, you guys.
This is why we asked you to do these.
I know, right? Okay, this is really simple. You guys will recognize this one. You got to say it with me. Good. Ready? Here we go. Good. That's the Campbell soup cheer. Very simple. A game for you guys. Who knows Steal the Bacon? Steal the Bacon? You guys know Steal the Bacon, yeah. This is a great activity. I'll read it out to you. We used to play this a lot in elementary school, so your scouts will probably know this one. The equipment you'll need is one piece of bacon, which is usually a flag, a towel, something like that. Something you don't mind if it gets ripped, because they're going to run up and they're going to grab this thing. And you have hopefully an equal number of scouts. You divide them into equal teams. You put the bacon in the middle, and you have this one thing I found said method for keeping score. Usually we never kept score when I was doing this, whatever. And one adult or older scout to be the umpire, if you will. You have 2 teams. So you determine the field of play. It should be roughly rectangular. It works really well if you have a gym like this where you have lines, but you could do it in a field. Ideally, maybe with some cones to identify the lines here. And I would have the scouts be behind the line because they're gonna creep up, you know, that kind of thing. Determine how long you're going to play or how many points you're going to play to, and how long you want the game to last. Line up on opposite boundaries, and you number each Cub Scout, 1 through 10, or in this case 1 through 5. 2 ways to do this. You could do it like this, where 1 is on one end and 5 is on the other, or whatever the maximum number is. Or you can invert it, because you're going to call a number, and the number that is called, the Cub Scouts are going to run and try to steal the bacon. So this way you have 1 coming this way and 1 coming that way, and they're kind of in a V pattern. If you invert one side, they're kind of at opposite angles. Either way it works. Each team member is given a number, like it's mentioned, so there'll be a 1 on each team, a 2 on each team. Bacon's in the middle, equidistant, umpire calls the number, the member of each team who's assigned that number runs out, tries to grab the bacon and return it to their side, or in this case they have a hula hoop. Go either way. The way that I played, you always try to get it past the line. If I'm on this team and I'm number 3, I try to run out, get the bacon, come back, pass the line, we win. If the team member gets the bacon to their side without being tagged, that team scores 2 points. If the team member on the opposite team tags the other person who's trying to steal the bacon, the other team gets 1 point. So if the other guy grabs the bacon first, you still have a chance to win. Does that make sense to everybody? So, the umpire calls number 4, right? Green number 4 runs out and grabs the bacon before orange number 4 does. So green number 4 turns around, comes back, tries to get past the line. But orange tags green before he crosses the line. Orange earns a point. Green gets nothing.
So then, which hula hoop do they put it in? The one on their side?
Their own.
Their own.
Right. You could do it without hula hoops. You could do it with hula hoops. I always played it where you had to get it past the line, where you started from. The first team to reach the determined number of points wins. There are interesting variations. The easy one is an umpire, once this game gets going, can call multiple numbers and chaos ensues. And it's fun. Instead of using numbers, use animals or characters or something else to make it silly or to fit a theme. This can also be used, den leaders take note, and I think this would be great for a den, by the way, not so much for a pack, I think. Den leaders can use this as a learning tool instead of numbers. Use answers to questions. For example, assign each player a city instead of a number, and then when the umpire says the capital of Missouri, the players assigned Jefferson City have to run out and steal the bacon. You could do this for, in this example, if you have 12 Cub Scouts, 6 on each side, the essentials of going outdoors for Cub Scouts. So you have 2 first aid kits, 2 canteens with water, 2 snacks, all that kind of stuff, and then you say, oh, I cut my finger! And first aid kits have to run out and get the bacon. You could do that kind of thing. You could be creative with it. Or you could do it if you have 24 scouts, which would be a lot. You could do points in scout law. Just a suggestion. It's active, and if you do it that way where you try to make it a learning thing, you're exercising the brain a little bit as well as the body. Questions? Hopefully you can try that. Again, it works well at a gym, you do it in the field. I wouldn't do it on concrete because it can get crazy. Now, I was shown this as a gathering activity. I think it actually fits more under the game category because you have to have everybody in place that you want to do this with. Right, this is picture telephone. Anybody know this one? Everybody know telephone, right? A telephone game? Okay, this is similar. I'll get there. Okay, so this would work really well with a den. 6, 7, 8 scouts. Each participant needs a pencil and a stack of paper of index cards equal to the number of participants. So if you have 7 participants, you need 7 pencils and 49 index cards. 7 stacks of 7. Everybody starts with a stack. The group should be seated in roughly a circle, maybe around a table, something like that. And each should have their stack of papers and a pencil. And each participant, you can do it 2 ways. You can have them write a phrase, say, cloudy skies or whatever. Or you could, as the leader, precede interesting phrases of different things throughout the entire stack. So everyone's got a different phrase. They should not tell anyone else what they have written or what has been written on the card. Each participant then passes their stack of papers. Okay, so they start with a phrase, and if they write it, they need to pass it to the person to their right, or you could do left, but right's easier, I think. So that phrase goes to the next person. The next person looks at that and says, okay, I got a phrase. They put that card in the bottom and draw a picture that represents that phrase. And then again, we repeat. They pass that to the next person sees the picture, they think about it, they put that on the bottom of the stack, and they write a phrase that they believe represents that picture. And on and on and on, alternating phrases, written phrases, and drawings until all of the index cards are full. And you end up with something like this. I can kind of read this to you. This is taken with a potato, I think. So this one started with a car at the mechanics. Somebody drew a picture of, a guy with a car, and then the interpretation is, okay, changing the tires in a car. So, okay, somebody else drew a changing tire in the car. Tire changing champion. Okay, somebody drew that. Boy won first place at building carburetor. Okay, drew that. Happy man with bouquet of flowers. Okay. I brought you flowers and I have blue pants. It's hilarious. It probably takes about 7-8 minutes to go through this thing, and it's going to be funny what everybody ends up with. And of course, at the end, each player stands up and shows each sequence of papers to everyone, and everyone has a good laugh. Makes sense? Again, I don't think it's a good... My litmus test for a gathering activity is, can I start with a small number of scouts and can people join as they come in? This doesn't lend itself to that. So I call it a gathering game, maybe. I don't know, you have to have everybody in-house. And it also burns a lot of index cards. You can use little scraps of paper or something like that, but you can end up with a lot of them. So take it for what it's worth. And that took about 20 minutes. All right.